Today also we will proceed the process of knowing and understandings. This is the remaining, the continuity part of the last times we discussed on the process of learning. I hope that you may know that why we discuss that process of knowing. The process of knowing is very, very important, without which we could not be able to know anything. And not only that, the main purpose of the why we are learning on the process of knowing is nothing but by knowing this process of knowing, we will be able to help our learners so that they will know in the better process, better understandings. And that is why this topic is included. That the process of understandings or knowing is very, very important, and without which we cannot help our students. Okay, and that is why this topic is discussed. So, knowledge, meaning, and its facets. So, what is a knowledge? The process involved in knowledge acquisition, generations, construction, these eventually enter the domains of the ways of acquisition, generations, construction of knowledge. To be precise, it is a ways of knowing. So if you like to acquire knowledge, if you like to generate the knowledge, if you like to construct a knowledge, this process, this kind of process cannot be possible without the knowing the process of knowing. Okay, so acquisition is also possible, generation is also possible, the construction of the knowledge is also possible when we go through the process of knowing. I hope that how we acquire knowledge, how we generate the knowledge, how we construct the knowledge. Okay, the prime purpose of the process of knowing is this. And the second part is what? The form of knowledge. There are different forms of knowledge. Okay, knowledge is a sum of the human understandings that ought to be different form of understanding and type of knowledge. So what we have a different form of knowledge. Some are related with the science, some are related with social science, some are related with the humanities and mathematical science and so and so. So all these things is nothing but because of the human understandings. So understanding is very, very important. Without the understandings, we will not be able to develop the different form of or different type of the knowledge. Now these different by understandings. Okay. And then the purpose of knowing or knowledge. The purpose of knowing is also different in different contexts. It might be appropriate to focus on knowing the process which explicates and explains and to a large extent determine meanings and nature of the knowledge. So why we have to know the knowledge? Because knowledge has its certain purposes, and therefore knowing is very, very important. As we exist life in the knowledge-based society, we cannot exist our life without the knowledge. It is therefore we have to know the knowledge. A knowing process is very much to everyone. Okay, so this is what the meanings and facets of the knowledge. Shall I proceed? Now, knowing and knowledge, is there relativity between knowing and knowledge? The purpose of knowing is what? To obtain the knowledge, right? Okay, so therefore knowing is very, very important. The purpose of knowing is nothing but to get the knowledge. Why? Knowledge is a kind of the things which will help us. We will be able to understand, we will be able to feel, and thereby we can do the works. So knowledge and knowing is very, very important, and knowing the knowledge is also here epistemology refers to the origin, nature, and limit of the human knowledge. So this is also areas of the epistemology. One of the main branches of the philosophy discuss the knowledge in terms of the origins of the philosophy, natures and limit of the human knowledge. Come. Now, whether the knowledge of any kind is possible, whether knowledge is innate or learned. What is your opinion? Whether knowledge is innate or learned? It means that when we are born and our knowledge was almost nil, zero, and we obtain the knowledge through the sense organs. Thereby we get sense data. On the basis of sense data, we generate the knowledge in the form of perception and in the form of the concept formations. Right. So, as knowledge is already exists before we exist. Okay, and many knowledge are there to be acquired. As many knowledge are unknown and many knowledge are also knowns. And the known person is very less as compared to the unknown. Okay, so to know the unknown things will be started from the knowing process, as we discussed in the logics also, induction, deduction also, and whether knowledge is mental states and so on, we are talking about. Okay, whether the knowledge is mental states. Okay, we'll discuss origins and validation of knowledge. This is also another part which will be discussed in terms of the knowledge and the knowing. And fifth is origin of knowledge, focus on the relatives of the roles of knower and knowns in the making of a knowledge. Okay. In the process, it generates wealth of the knowledge on both ways and form of knowing in the knowledge. I will explain, no problem. To know the origin of knowledge, it is required to focus on the process of how do we come to know. Okay, I think may I know which sense organs start working first time in our lives? Yes, listenings. And when we was in our mother womb. Okay, so first sense data is working when we was in the mother womb. Okay, it's from these research findings says that listening is very, very important. Listening is very, very important. On the basis of listenings, we develop the language also. Right. And the listenings plays major role in order to acquire the knowledge. And first, we will be, without the audio information, we cannot develop the language. Okay. Audio is very, very important, listenings. And therefore, one person to another are communicated through the listening also. But listening has its own limitation. Yes, I will give you one nice example that if you close your eyes and try to listen, and can you imagine what you listen, whether that is a male or female, whether the smell of the persons, the smell of the thing that you are nearby. So the listenings and the smell are very closely related. We lost some of these sensations. Yes, during our prenatal time and then postnatal time or during the infancy times, those five sense organs are very, very effective. But day by day, all the sense, the importance of all the sense data or sense organs are substituted by the sight and listenings, as we are losing the data that we are getting through the nose and the skins. Okay, and then the audio visuals are dominating the remaining sense data, and therefore we are losing the sense of rationalities. And those persons who are blind, they have more emotional, more rational than other type of the peoples. Okay, so we need to improve the sense of smells, the sense of touch. These two senses help us a lot of informations, which will help us to have more rationalities, okay, more memories. What we call it, the third eyes will be opened. The third eye is nothing but wisdom. The wisdom is nothing but what is right and what is wrong. The justice, the sense of moralities will come out. And it is therefore many children are trained by closing their eyes when they touch anything. We will provide two type of two pens having different colors, and students has to find out which one is red and which one is a blue without the sight. Through the smell or through the touch, we can verify this one is red and this one is blue or green or something like that. So if we improve these two remaining senses, and we will have more capacity to predict the problem which has come to. Okay, so this is what this kind of training which has happened, what we call it, especially in Japan. This kind of training is being provided, and therefore nowadays also in the internet also some Janus mind trainings are going on, and they can read the books by closing the eyes also, and they can know how many people are there in the classroom also, and they can know what kind of the four-wheeler or two-wheeler coming at their home also, with a number also. So this kind of the superpower of the human rationalities will come out when we develop the sense of the smell and sense of touch. These are very powerful. Yes, we can forget the sound and the sight, but it's the information, the knowledge that we learn through the sense of the smell and the touch, it will remain always with us. I hope that you will remember the smell of your mother. You're going to forget it throughout the lives. When you close your eyes, when you was not able to see, very young age, but why child is supposed to stop the crying when the mother is nearby? Through the smell that my mother is coming, or somebody is picking up that the child is crying. Yes, child may try to stop, but after some time the child will start crying. Why? Child does not recognize the person who is picking up, because the smell is different. Got the point? So and those people who are blind, they are very, very sensitive than us also. So what I mean that when we are learning when we are knowing the anything in order to obtain the knowledge, if we use the sense of smell and sense of touch, if we involve these two senses, and it will remain always. We will not forget it. So we learn only through sight and then listening, and thereby we will forget it in future. Okay. So here this point is mentioned. And some students, they tried hard that tomorrow will be exams, and then he by heart everything, he understood everything, and when exam is out, the marks which was expected by the parents or the home tutor, not at that much levels. Instead of that, he or she got, the student, very, very less. Why? If something happened inside the class, maybe emotional disturbances, may forget the knowledge which is learned through sight and listenings. Got the point? If the students learn through this kind of smell and touch, it will not forget it. Okay. So the process of coming to know begin with the knower, the subject's engagement to be known the objects. One is the subjects and one is the objects. Okay, so this kind of the process of coming to know the begins with the knowers. The one is a knower and then the one is a knowee. Right. We'll discuss later on, not much more. Knower engagements. We need engagements. Suppose you are knower. Okay, and another knowledge is theirs, and then there will be engagement will be theirs. What is the engagement? If you engage somebody, then you will not see others. Engage the guitar that to wakan kan be adeo. Chumbra, luhong trobone, aduna yuma pantok be adeo. Chumbra. So likewise, our mind is also engaged while we are learning going on. Aduna mind se phajal thamgrabani atop haidok pa yadreba learn to matam dati mind se engage tograbne. Okay, so the knower and the knowledge, there will be mutual understandings in the form of engagements, and relationship begin with his or her contact with to be known. The contact takes place through the sense in context, physical, biological, social, cultural, and others. So the contact between the knower and the knowledge will be on the basis of physical, biological, socio-cultural, and others. Aduna kadutare ko yum da mai mutkirkan da thong krai de leijam line khangi ne. This is what we call it socio-cultural. Hojing no tare adi like duk thaba matam ore. Hojing punga suktare ko chap chap matam ore. Like this is what we call socio-cultural. Es adi tardi moi gidu swara leramni, moi gidu long leramni. These are nothing but socio-cultural. And nowadays this is a summer. Now the end of the winter, now the rain is coming up. This is social cultural. We have to change the dress also. Summer dress so because of season we have to change our dress also. This is also about social cultural informations. As far as biological also, when we hungry and we have to find out the foods, or so many natural codes are also there. This is biological related. Okay. And as far as physical also, what I mean that the engagement between the knower and the knowledge will be on the basis of physical point of view or biological point of view, socio-cultural or other, or all together. I was in the class in the examination hall, and I forget the process of the raining. Okay, that was a summer days. No summer days ni, and I forget the process, how the raining is going on, and then I on my hands and sweating is going on. Why sweating is going on? I start thinking, oh, so I mean it's becoming hot. So hot. From where the energy is coming out? From the suns. The suns give the energies on the waters, okay, and then it vaporize and form the clouds. And then first the cool air near the hill areas, and then clouds. Once cloud is becoming cool, and then it will come down in the form of rains. So I remember from this my sweat. Okay, this is what the I also told you last time that how I remember the stories of the Dr. Kamal stories, Madhavi also. Okay, but we need the true informations. Exact okay, so engagements is the physical way engagement engagement in the sense that you never be able to forget the puppies of your parents. Okay, this is also physical relationship. Biological also, when you hungry and the food are given by your parents also, and socio-cultural also. And other factor also. So engage different ways of engagements. Kamain taruga koi mind se karai the focus taruke hai do. Sigi factor mayam sigi the focus factor mayam sina koi ki kedo ba mind engage taruke ne ko kan choi thok ta ba hai bitare ne. So in this context, the knower owned the initiative for seeking the knowledge, employing the different ways, assume the significance. So these are what knowing and the knowledge. So knowing is all very, very important. The purpose of knowing is nothing but to obtain the knowledge, as we cannot exist life without the knowledge. Knowledge is very, very important. Okay, let me proceed to the next slide. The ways of knowledge and the form of knowledge. Different form of knowings. Now, knowing is both process and products. Knowing is both process and products. What is a process? What is a process, please? First, we gather the information through our sense data. We collect the what? Sense data. And those sense data give the information to our brains. On the basis of that, our brains start working. And then we get some meanings. What I see is a red. What kind of red? This is a chair. What is the purpose of chair? The purpose of chair is sitting. What kind of chair? It is a matter of the plastics. So we start, this is what we call the process. But my question is that process we know step by step. Okay, that is from sensation to perception, from perception to concept formations. And concept formation to and metacognitions. Now here, products. What is a product? What is a product? Multiplications. Multiply the knowledge. So what we get the information about the plus, minus, multiplication and divisions. Okay, these are very, very important in our day-to-day life. And then when we are going to the shops, okay, we're holding the 100 rupees and we buy the 33 rupees, how much money will be returned back? If you buy the commodities at the amount of 33 rupees, and how much money will be returned back by the shopkeeper to you? Huh? Okay, 67. That is what? Product. How? That was learned in the classrooms in terms of the plus, minus, multiplication, division. Actually, for examination point of view, we learn, but we apply in our day-to-day lives. So knowledge are multiplied. Multiplications of the knowledge is also what we call it products. What we learn the knowledge here, it is not only for the examination point of view, it may be used in our day-to-day life also. That is what we call products. So the purpose of the knowing is nothing but the knowledge. Knowing is because of the process and products. Okay, so many multiplication knowledge might be there, and that may help us to know much more knowing. Okay, so as a process, it refers to the method of coming to know the phenomena. Okay, so many phenomena are there. Example, do you agree that rainbow is beautiful? Why it so? How we start thinking on the rainbows? When we see the colors of rainbows. Okay, so rainbow is a kind of phenomenon. So many phenomena might be there. See, summer might be there, winter might be there, raining might be there, earthquake might be there, flood might be there. So many phenomena are there. Okay, so once we find so many phenomena, and then we start thinking. The purpose of thinking is nothing but is a knowing. Because knowing is a process, not only the process, but also the products. So once we see the rainbow and we start thinking, and some great forefather told us that we are able to find out two poles of the rainbow, and then we will get what? Yeah, gold or diamond or whatever. It's very, very priceless things will be theirs. Yes, who explored who developed? It is because of the reflections or the reflections. Huh? Okay, this person. So when we have some waters might be there in our mouth and we blew, and then we can see the rainbow also. Why? The color of the water is blue. Blue in color. When we see the skies, it's look blue. Why not here? Yeah. So likewise, so many phenomena might be there which help us to start thinking. And as we discussed earlier, that the original philosophies, so many sorrows, joys, doubts, so many original philosophy we have been discussed like that. So knowing the phenomenon is nothing but is a process of starting as a philosopher. Okay. So knowledge as a product is a result of the knowing the process. Knowledge is product. What we obtain the knowledge that sun rises from the east and sets in the west. We observe every day. We observe every day, and as a result of how there is a knowing process. We observe every day as we are knowing every day, and lastly we confirm that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. Okay. So this is what we call a kind of products, and this knowledge is not meant for only you, and what you know the knowledge may be transferred to the others also. Why we studies many books? Because many theories, many important information, stories might be there in the books. Okay, and those books are written in the form of the different subjects, and then many students of different years, different ages has to learn the books, because knowledge is transmitting from generation to generation. That is what we call the products. Knowing happens through the perceptions, reasons, emotions. Codification is done in the language. Language is very, very important. Many great psychologists also favor the importance of language. Who was a chief psychologist who developed the psychological theory based on language? Chomsky's American psychologist, right? So, and who was the first person that Vygotsky. Before Vygotsky?
Piaget?
Yes, very true. What Piaget said?
Piaget said that it is our thought that helps in the development of a language, and Vygotsky said that it is our thought that influences our.
Piaget said importance of the language. Okay, and Vygotsky said that important.
What is the reason that we are? Is the reason why we are speaking? It's the language that is influenced by our thoughts.
What Vygotsky said, that socialization is a major role in order to learn. But socialization is not possible without the language. Am I right? Interacting different type of people is not possible without the language. So there is the importance of the language in teaching learning process. Your language should be easily communicable, right? And therefore your student will learn from you also, right? That was Piaget also was there, and then Vygotsky was also there, and later on in that areas Chomsky started working his research works. That what is a language, how we learn the language, and Chomsky said that there is a special hardware in our brain. Everybody has hardware to learn the language. Especially through the listening, through the imitations, we learn the language. Okay, say two twin might be there of the same parents. Maybe one may exist in UK and one will exist in Manipur. Okay, and because of their environment, one baby who exists life in Manipur will learn Manipuri language, and other will be English. Because of how we learn the language. Through the socialization, as mentioned by Vygotsky. Without the socialization, what is the language of the Tarzan? See, any different animal language. Without the meeting different type of people, we may not have our language. So if you like to improve the language, we need to communicate different type of peoples in our lives. And loan ngang thokpa hai thokpa what is the language poro is karino har kan mi am thenarak ta bagine mi am thenarak ta di. If you are meeting an Englishman, you are meeting one Hindi spoken persons, if you are meeting Bengali, many people might be there, and then that may help you to learn the different languages. And what is the prime language in our life? Prime language is nothing but family language. What we call the mother tongue. The language which is taught by our parents, is more important, and through which we will buy the Chomskys. So if we are not familiar with our family language, we are not familiar with our mother tongue, and then we will be weak in other languages also. How we can learn the English? We learn through the Manipuri. If we are weak in Manipuri, we may not be able to learn the English. Am I right? Because we will be converted the formula of Manipuri language grammar into the English grammars. In English, say, I chak chare. I chak chare. So the verb is last. But in English, object, subjects in between verb will be there. This locations is very, very important. Yes, in Japanese also, same like our Manipur. So, Chomsky's developed one grammar. What kind of grammar? Universal form of grammars. And through the grammars, we can learn the languages. Okay. So, what I mean that language is very, very important. And because of this, we start thinking. That is perceptions. Perception is nothing but start of thinking on the basis of the sense data. Okay. And then we reasons. We start reasons. Reason is nothing but concept formations, and we filled the emotions. What we call it the knowing, feeling, and doing. The three levels: cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. Okay. So knowing the language is nothing but those people who don't know the Tamil language may not know what is happening in the cinema. Yes, we imagine. Bhagna sajan bai wani Tamil cinema da ngangnari balon da koi khang de. Nadrane. Adi tardi. There is a code. This is what we call codification is necessary. I am sending the message to everyone through my verbal informations. If you are not codified the language, and then you cannot know what I am saying. Chumra. Adi ngangnari sing se code ngaktane. Kri code sing se kadawa. Codified to bunga mami tu kaptana ngang khang doine. Gyan tai tadi. Isam sam na koi gi awalan gi matam da ngangna ba lon ama leirambra. Leibne. Ko adugi lon do koi khang ba da yang wai ba ngasai gi awa gi kangbu sing Burmese gi kangbu sing khang dana waina separate language ma form to. So language, so many difficult languages are theirs. You can find from intelligence department also. They have a separate language are also theirs. Okay, in terms of the telegraphic information are also theirs. And sending a message over there, and they are translated over there also. Yeah. So codification, the grammar. Okay. Now similarly, there are means and sources of every ways of knowing. In order to know, there are means and source are theirs. Okay, means and source through which we will know it. Go. These sources are knower senses and minds. Our sense and our mind, that is our reasoning capacities, and because of that we know. What is wrong with that student? Panam harasu gyan suda ta da ngang ganum leyo. Kitang haibada hana kedo ojadun ngang ka da potu de mamang hana satkharga khan khangye ngang karamati. Why it so happen? Karigino si se. Is it because of their level of intelligence? Intelligence khar wang basing ni sala ta khangine kitang hair poda clue ne ko. Si la ga di si soi la kane siman khangje. Never ne. But what about the intelligence kitang poro ibu di kedroni? Mangon da hanjan convinced of woman changye. Khangna nam hona bata yang wa ba hai betare. So different sources of knowing construct different form of understandings and different type of knowledge. So different form of understanding and different type of knowledge. Khangbagi angle. One may be inductive approach, one may be deductive approach. Am I right? Example very simple. Arubadagi araibada hobiyai, araibadagi arubada hogibiyai. Yam lu potagi amu mache thuara ka khang payai or yam lai potagi alum arubadam sangen gibusu yai. Two approach of the inductive thinking. Right. This is what the form of understandings and the different type of knowledge. Someone may be social science, someone may be physical, someone may be science, biological science, in science all different subjects are there, mathematical science are also there. Okay, so many subjects are there. So from this we learn that different ways of knowing and different form of knowledge are also there according to the epistemological subjects. Here we can find one diagram. From this we know that these are the ways of gaining the knowledge. How we gain the knowledge, first we need important of sense perceptions. That is a sensation, and later on the perceptions and the logical reasonings and understanding the emotions and use of language. So these are the four elements through which we will gain the knowledge. Okay, elaboration will be next slides. Now the sense perceptions, beginning of the knowledge, beginning of the knowing. Without the sense, if you don't have your eyes, if you don't have your nose, smelling powers, no skins, simply you don't have five sense data, is not with you. Is it possible to know? Is it possible to gain the knowledge? Mitsu tange nakong su tathire ko simanam number su ngamdre test to su hydre adiga test to su khangdre adu tardi karino nang na khangdu su like a dead body all ane chumbrane sigi sense mayam singsne be koi work tor doise uma am sarok ta ke dorone pen ningsing ak tam ne phi apaba ko humang sauroi dwa woolen dresses sinabu yadre. This is what knowledge we learn through this skin. Skin is also one of the sensitive organ. Natro adu yam nam thi mo phom nang glass tau si have den pham bang ngam moi mayam so tan na ne ko kara pati kom ti marak dei da highly dum place amada koi pham ga like tam se bi yar ho smell si su bera ne koi se. It's very manam thi bai pose aphabanati. It's a very unhygienic. So many viruses and bacteria like doing kyam yam na koi sensitive oi gi se anga pop jibom ne koi je. So sense perceptions, the beginning of the knowing. Say the acquisition knowledge begins with the receptions of the external stimuli by our sense organ, which is immediately converted in the form of the perceptions. The purpose of the eyes, the purpose of the listenings, the purpose of the smell, the purpose of the taste, and thus, these are what? My sense may am lazy karigino. I get Hawaii duna, I brain duna, keduba, information mayama, haksang mapandi collection torakanda, brain will start thinking, what can color to you? I see sense that I'm answering, young to get away, what can soon color. Okay. Aduna sense that I'm suddenly, if you smell the gunpowder here itself, kantruki manam tata nang kedoni. See, kasi the kantruki manam se nang tare and kalasin nang kadog the suddenly nang kanom di kalakanida. You have to run away because it's risky. Ko gunpowder ki smell the parokta di bomb oiram baye suddenly skip to butavane. Yam how makodam thar ankle asu nungai asu skip to butavane. Okay, so sense to na ne by coin feel to holak to ise. Ko nang kung manak to the snake manbam later main colony suddenly jump down ne. Maram the snakes poisonous never. It may kill you natra. Aditati deadly over animal to take hydro potabanel. Okay, Aditati, we start. So perception refers to having the knowledge about the stimulus that imprints on our sense organs. Ko adu kenomta haningi sense yaw to wakan di khalangani. Ko adi cry the nom the ying cry the nom the kalam muneo. Karim kan the no torun muneo ko. Mang the nangle muneo. Ko adu the sense nati and high ganeva. Adu sense nateva keduva. Flashback never. Hana how you put on using a gun, but the memory never. Ko memory the base organ wakan kan bahore. Yes, but actually knowledge equate we high the sense that as yaw to get learn to bungam the hari. But whenever you are teaching the class, Whenever you are teaching your helping your students, are you trying to involve their sense data? Sine laktori posi. Ada mokoi de mit uhan bra, nakong da tahan bra, wa sungangang da tumina leibra ko. Adi apple gi manam, adi gi keno gi manam ko. Adi khutna ga pahen bra, tas ta han bra. Sigi mayam singa tas ta hun da ba targa di knowledge will be incomplete. Oi ne haba. Adi sense data mayam sing se. So I think in your psychology paper, your Madam Nomika maybe deal with during the prenatal time. Prenatal time the ketawi, postnatal the time the ketawi. Adi knowledge kamai equatory. Angang dun kamai maron tholai. Mama papa kamai recognize tawri. Nudran atopa parents in the pie with the cup isikari. Adugi same process though. Adu yaudragati. We could not learn the knowledge. So the first information is sense the language, that is a listening. Ma nakong na tahan na batay. Then tara matung uhol na batay mamita. Then aday di makut pahen batay, manam naman batay, tangan batay. Apple gi wari type of the fruit o tar su ko. Aday tar the sense organs are very very important, and they have a big role in order to know or in order to acquire the knowledge. Now, thus, knowledge starts with experience, the facets and matters through the sense organs, individually, collectively, at individual level, while participating in social activities. Adui batargasu kadori hana learn to give knowledge to adu the basis unum oigani. Maram di hanjan akoina learn to go mathau tadi nong pok tagi numit tholai nungchup the tai gi haibasi hanjan yengoi mathau tadi already tested oigrabani amtong yeng bada gyan tarada bani thang ri sokali mai hi singally ko iroi ba hitradi ising ni irang nei guys loin khangra poni aduna amuk ising ni chongdaraga irang na bron check tawdrasu num yaraba poni ko aduna experience the su based or kariaba knowledge. So we enhance our knowledge by participating in social activities. Adi tadi mi mayam sab thengarak tare mi adigi aina leram daba gyan jesu mi ngodi phang tare. What we call social activity, itum the like form our knowledge will not be enhanced. Mi mayam thengna badune, that is what social activities. The ultimate source of the human knowledge, says Littlins Brandon's 1971, is evidence of reality provided by the senses. And sense that are Sina Pira even the Tamian since I am CP the evidence Pambanga Aduna ni Kota Kedova, evidence, proofs and evidence, Parabar Hangise, Saki, Sabon Kanakana, or Hangise, Udu Potipana Sajaleta, Mamara Lalen, Haibi Abanatim. Saying the reality, the test or enable. Now, through the stimulus variations, there are sensory. This is the last slide. Receptor, the human receive information which travel to his brain in the form of the sensation. And the brain you walk to how the computer start working. Computer start tawre. Kamai gari computer se mathok tarapura. Kamai mathok tahon gani. Computer se kamai mathok torke. How the computer start working? If we are not giving some inputs, once we input some inputs, if you insert a pen drive, or if you type something and computer start work, how to prove that computer is working? Everything will come out to the monitors. Then ABC number do monitor the thak tholakani. Adi tadi computer do thabuk tawri natra. Pen drive in Sele, Adikari partner hang signal and Pirakani, Aditari computer to work to computer never start working without the input devices. Input P than the computer might process same like that, Akoi cooks Sungare, Karibumba Tatakra Fangakan, Adu the base where can Akoi Wakan Kan Bahorak to you. Wakan Kan Bahorakan, I the Tabo Oinum Pangkorok to you. That is knowing. Feeling do na process tare effective to and then the doing do na ngasai output to tare input process and output sine ba ngang yuwak angang ko manung da sanaduri ba lila me an sinse ko. So these sensory inputs such as do not constitute knowledge, they are only the material knowledge. and the sensory input may am piri sing se machine knowledge din na tiba nang uri bisa ngang bara sang bara kai to wi sang ni no kai to wi ngang ni no adom da la kan da ne knowledge. The human brain automatically retain and integrate these sensations with all already available information in the brain thereby forming the percepts. Ko brain do na karimba sense da khara phangakanda the base or kan wakhan khan ba perception constitute the starting point and a base of the man's knowledge. Ko perception is a first foundation ni si perception si kudi sense da ta khudi mak chumba nate verify to duri ni ain ui base lilla lingi mong manbra na thori dai chung du ne ki dana adu check to kan da di kadore lin oram moi do ni thori oram do ni adu tarti sense ta khudi all bright things are no diamond aduna uriba tariba sense da phangai ba ta khudi mak sing se loino verify ta uba darkar oi madugi verification do that is what we call perception. Wrong perception lead a wrong sensation lead wrong perception leads wrong concept formation aduna aran ba information mayam hapchen gi ba tar ga di last da kokbera le mi oirak tuini aduna knowledge se kedoba chummi lali khangdana bamen ta dana koine equate to ya ri. Okay, so these sense organs plays vital roles in the origin of knowledge. Okay, the origin of the knowledge. So up to this, for today I will stop here, and my time is over, and see you tomorrow.